Ukraine is able to destroy so much of Russia's ability to export oil and gas, it will be very difficult, in my view, to continue the war much longer. And of course, the impact on Russian civilians of their access to gasoline for their cars, etc. It's important that they understand that what's going on here and that they feel some of the pressure of this conflict. Now, one of the things, of course, that the General Staff knows is you can't just hit a refinery one time. You have to keep hitting it over and over and over to make sure that the Russians are never able to get it repaired and back online again. So I think having enough drones or missiles or different types of munitions that will enable continuous reattack to make sure they never rebuild is going to be important. Now, eventually, the Russians will start figuring out how to protect their refineries better, but that creates other opportunities then for Ukraine. So I'm impressed. I imagine this is something that will continue for months on into next year. I wish that the West would intensify its support to Ukraine of long-range strike capability, either by investing in Ukrainian defense or providing capabilities to Ukraine. And of course, the complementary part of this would be if the West would disrupt the shadow fleet vessels that are carrying Russian oil out through the Baltic Sea to China, India, Turkey. We could also help damage Russia's oil export industry. We could also help damage Russia's oil export industry, not only in terms of numbers, but in terms of sophistication and quality. So Neptune, Flamingo, these kinds of weapons, which are so important to Ukraine's long-range strike capability, that's a remarkable achievement in my view. And I imagine that Ukrainian engineers will continue to refine, improve these systems and improve their ability to strike deep into Russia. And I also imagine that the very creative and innovative engineers there in Ukraine are looking for other ways to be able to hit targets that are even more difficult for Russian air defenses to stop. And so he needs to feel pressure from his own citizens, as well as the oligarchs around him that help keep him in power. They need to be feeling the results of this war themselves. They should not feel immune to it. So it's not about fairness, it's about winning the war. And I would also say that the leadership inside the Russian military, every leader in the chain of command that is responsible for any attacks or against civilians in Ukraine, Ukrainian civilian infrastructure, other war crimes, those people should be looking over their shoulder for the rest of their life because the GUR is going to hunt them down just the way the Mossad does for Israel. I think this is going to be the future for Russia, for people involved in war crimes, and they should be looking over their shoulder and checking under their car for the rest of their life.